When our states declared war back in the past, they did so for noble reasons. And there are two primary reasons. Number one, to spread the message and not the religion. Nobody forced, but the message needs to be spread. And number two, to help innocent people. And subhanAllah, these days, Western lands, they go to war to spread their aqeedah and their message. And their message is the message of capitalism. Their message is the message of their version of democracy, their version of government. They think it is justified to bomb entire lands so that they can get rid of a king and replace it with their version of democracy. That is why they go to war. As for the Eastern Bloc, they go to war to prevent capitalism, to spread communism. They go to war because they don't want NATO alliances or whatever it might be. That's their wisdoms. And as for us, we in our Sharia were never allowed to go to war for the sake of greed, for the sake of money, for the sake of capitalism and imperialism. No. We went to war to spread the kalima or to defend innocent people. And the fact of the matter, and I say this loudly and proudly, as a person whose origin is in the land of India, I say proudly, I thank Allah for Muhammad ibn Qasim to come to my land so that my ancestors could stop the worship of pagan gods. And I can say loudly and proudly, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadur Rasulullah. If they can go to war for false reasons of dunya, we have nothing to be ashamed about of our own Sharia and our own tradition when our ancestors and the Khulafa went to war for far more noble causes. Look at how those Ukrainians who are standing up and fighting Russian oppression are being portrayed. Look at how those people are being portrayed as freedom fighters. Look at the valorization of the underground resistant movement. SubhanAllah, CNN on its front page had an in-depth story of the life and bravery of a Ukrainian soldier who blew himself up to prevent Russians from crossing a particular bridge. He is viewed as a martyr for a noble cause. In any other circumstance, this would have been a suicide bomber who is a religious fanatic. But all of a sudden, the same incident and the same reality is portrayed in a different manner. BBC on its front page, and I could not believe this, I saw this with my own eyes, was reporting with glee, with happiness, that British citizens are coming to the Ukrainian embassy wanting to fight and wanting to volunteer. And the interviewer says, "Are you Ukrainian?" "No, I'm not Ukrainian." "Why are you going?" "I want to fight for justice." Subhanallah. So when it is Russia that is invading, you want your own citizens to go and defend. But when it is a Western power, then when your citizens do this, then you go and you jail them and you call them terrorists. We have to be fair here. We have to be consistent in what we say is freedom and what we say is justice. Just because the invaders happen to be us, all of a sudden everything changes? No, we have to, with wisdom, because again, this is a very sensitive topic, and I have to put this disclaimer. Throughout those years of whatever was happening in the Middle East, I was never an advocate of those religious movements, but at the same time, I never said that those types of people in those lands are doing anything wrong. I never said this. And today I'm saying the same thing. When a foreign country comes and invades you, what do you expect the locals to do? What do you expect? The Ukrainians are fighting against those who invaded them. They are freedom fighters. When the Palestinians stand up and fight against oppression for 70 years, they become the aggressors. They become the violent people. We are not justifying terrorism. But who gets to define terrorism? And why is one act considered terrorism, not the other?